All right. Jay Rabideau on YouTube. Welcome in. Welcome in, 3D Medic Vince. The Shrimp Father, welcome in. Diablo Spawn, thanks for joining us. I forgot to run Lumia stream. Let's get that up. Hold up. Need to do a thing. All right. And we're good there. Perfect. Teslas, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Okay, still on the Metro. Well, yeah, awesome. Cool. So, we are going to continue the saga of the lamp. I printed off those other things, and they do work, but there was a glaring problem. Is it next Friday yet, Jay Rabideau? Oh man, if you're asking if it's the next Friday yet, you're in for a long week. Yeah, so last time, what we wanted is I wanted to take this lamp and adjust the interface for the lamp to accommodate this type of lamp socket. This thing. So it could go right in there. We accomplished that, kind of. There's a glaring issue that I'm gonna show. So, here's the part that we designed. It printed in 2 pieces because if you wanted a shorter piece, I made it so there was a shorter option. And it works as expected. So you have this thing that unscrews. Take this off. You fit this down through the bottom, and it pops out there. You take the threads and you screw it on, and there you go. So now you have your socket. You grab your light bulb and you screw it in. There we go. Now, we're about to see the problem. So this fits in here, right? And I did create a little slot here to accommodate the cord. Now, we're about to see the problem. I don't know how well you can see this. With this long cord, I'm going to try to point the camera down here because, you know, pro streamer here. Even though there's the cord there, it still wants to flex and tip. It is not very stable. So that's a problem. So we are going to solve that today. But we are also going to do something else. Let's move this out of the way. Okay. So, where is that? Polymorph, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Bulb was not too high. Ha, I fooled ya. Oh, also, I got some new merch. This shirt. Fetters 3D printed spaghetti. Ah! And then I got the zombie hedgehog hat. Welcome in, Delta Trader. None of us are very stable, to be honest. I think you're right about that, Polymorph. Let's see. It was Lamp002. Hey, let's head over to my computer. Okay, so the problem is, because this is all open and the cord is just sitting on the ground, it has room to affect the rest of the lamp. So we are going to make adjustments to fix that. Now, I don't think I made this very parametric, so I'm going to take what exists already and adjust it. I think this stuff is fine. Those interfaces are fine. We're just going to change this. We're going to change this so it has a bottom. And so this slot goes all the way up. We're gonna change it a bit. Okay. Yeah. This is gonna be interesting. Let's do it. So let's take, I'm just gonna create a copy of this just in case, you know, you never know. Okay. V2. Yeah, it's going to be somewhat flared. So it's going to have a solid base so that we can chop this up into thirds and so it won't fall apart. It's going to be a little bit different setup. Okay, so we have our V2. Let's project right here. And we'll do a circle here. Let's project this as well. And do another circle right here. Okay. So this stuff still needs to fit inside the lamp. So we're going to have an extension that comes further out the bottom where the cord can lead to. So, this is going to be a little interesting, but I'm going to take this and extrude it all the way to here. Join. I think it would have been easier if I did a revolve. So I'm going to undo that. Let's undo all this. Just so we stay organized a bit. Okay. So now let's do an intersect right here. Okay, so we now have our profile right there. Okay, finish that sketch. And Jay Rabideau with the Oscar Mayer song in Spanish. Should I skip it? No, that would be dirty. Okay, so now we don't have any cutouts. It's just this little extension, though I think I need to remove this chamfer. So I'm gonna change that real quick, and then we'll get to our Oscar Mayer song. Okay, finish. Edit this. Hold down Control and select that. Hit OK. Now we have something to work with. Okay, so this goes up into our lamp, this guy, and we need to extend it down just a little bit to have it'll be kind of like an extension, so the cord can still come out. So the cord is still going to be able to come out here, this hole here, but we're going to have a plate, so to speak, so that the cord is resting against the plate and it's going to be fastened inside the lamp so it can't tilt. Okay? So, all right. Let's do the things and accomplish the stuff. I gotta pause the music. And I need to disable sound canceling because those higher notes will be canceled out. Welcome NAWZ, you're just in time. I'm about to sing the Oscar Mayer Wiener song. Quisiera ser un Oscar Mayer Wiener.
A mí me gustaría ser así. Y si yo fuera un Oscar Mayer winner, se enamorarían todos de mí. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's get the music back on. And the noise canceling back on. There we go.
Thanks for that, Redeem. Mad Scientist Slack, welcome in. Yeah, so you get one of those redeems once per stream. So that's it for this stream. But next time, maybe you'll be the one to redeem that. Oh, well, thanks. Tell your wife thank you, Delta Trader. I've heard that when you struggle to speak in Spanish, if you learn to sing in Spanish, it's a lot easier to pronounce the words correctly because you're focusing more on the vowels and stuff. So I heard that it's a lot easier to sound better in Spanish when you're singing. That's what I hear anyway. I don't know. I just work here. Okay, so we need to extend this down just a little bit. I'm going to extend this down by 0.2 millimeters first, just so we have that clearance right there. And so that way, when I add our little brim that goes all the way out to here, double checking that this wouldn't cause any issues. I think if I make this cutout all the way to the top so that, I think that'll be better. Diablo spawn with the emotes with the creature. Okay, so we already extended that down. Let's do another sketch right here. And let's do... Perfect. Let's do that. That works great. Going to project this line. I'm going to make that a construction line so it doesn't do weird stuff to us later. Yeah, sure, that's fine. If I do just 2, will that look weird? I think that'll be plenty. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Okay, let's get rid of this lamp so we can see what we're working with here. Okay, so what we want is we want to cut a gap right here and do a pattern around it. I believe that because this is protruding underneath, we don't need holes to be able to twist it. Though I don't know if that's going to be comfortable with it just being 2 millimeters thick. Even 3 millimeters might be sketchy. So let's add a chamfer here. And I want this to be equal distance. 1? Sure. Oh, let's do 0.6. Because if it's too big of a chamfer, it might be a little too difficult to grip it. Kenneth D, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So I'm going to do a sketch right here. I'm just going to hit P rather than click on the sketch icon. So I can select this and this. And I'm going to bring the lamp back just so that I can have a reference of where the hole is. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Things are slow. Okay, make this go away. Let's project this point and this point. Okay. Make you go away, make you come back. Neat. Okay. Okay, now you notice these are still blue. That's because I need to attach them to these points. Otherwise, that defeats the purpose of projecting those points. So I'm gonna make these two a coincident and make these two a coincident. That way it's fully constrained. Okay, now I'll hit E for extrude and select these to object. And I'm gonna come all the way to the top here. Okay, and now I just need to pattern that around. Let's just go around this axis. We want to do features, and I'm going to select this feature down here, and I'm going to choose 3. Boom. There we go. That way, because there's 3 of these little tabs, that means there are 3 different orientations that this can be screwed in. And by allowing that channel in those 3 positions, if they happen to have the cord coming out one way and then they screw it in, it's more likely that it'll line up with this. It's still possible that it won't, but it gives them a better chance in determining, where that goes. So, okay, so we have that done. So now when the cord comes out, it'll be pressing against this surface, but because this is connected to this, it won't make it tilt at all. The tilt pressure is going to be within this whole mechanism, not between the whole lamp and the floor. So I think that's going to resolve that issue. And this will connect right there. So I have these interfaces right here. So the lamp will screw onto this, and then this will seat into this, and the cord will come out here, and this will screw into this. So I think it still looks somewhat elegant with that small little lip there. I think that'll still look pretty good with those changes. I think that'll work. Okay, so let's export this. I've been working on lamp 003 lately. I'm going to show you what I did because I was struggling with it. It was a struggle, to say the least. Where is my lamp? No, I did lamp interfaces. Where are my lamp interfaces? Right here. Done. Save. Okay. I'm going to use my Prusa XL to print that. Boop. Lamps are fun. Reliance 3D. Thanks for joining us, by the way. Lamps are fun. You know, I'm not a specialist in lamps. There are designers out there that do a lot better job than me because they specialize in it and they have a lot of practice in whatever software they're using. I find to get the effects I want, it's a struggle using Fusion to get the effects I want. So I think I need to investigate other means of getting what I want. Okay, 4 is the black one. Yeah, and it's generic. Okay. You know, my mom tells me I'm special too. But probably not in the good way. Hey, Karen Chow, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I'm going to turn off that white tower because I don't need it for a single color print. Okay. And I think I might just use all defaults because hit 4 there. Because I don't think it's really that important to me. Like, it's a prototype. I just want to make sure it works. Send. Let me double check something. I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's what I thought. Back. Thank you. All right. I'm like bumping into everything. Okay. Ready to send print. Let's go. Oh, yeah, you don't feel like you specialize in it, but you made a lamp and marble contraption. That's cool. I'm not as good with contraption type stuff. Like when it comes to gears, I confuse myself with how things will work. So that's something that I've just started getting into with gears and stuff like that. But it's a good challenge. I like to challenge myself and learn new things. Yeah, I wish I had my setup. This chat right here is supposed to show YouTube chat, but I guess I haven't given it the right permissions yet. I thought I did, but apparently not. Okay. So that's good. Let's just discard that. I don't need it. Cool. So that's done. Okay, let's save this. Now we are going to look at this. So this is not what we left off on. And in fact, I attempted to redo this part because this is kind of what we left off on last time. I was using lofts to create this, which was also a bit of a challenge. I had to soften a lot of the curves in the spline that I was using because it kept wanting to intersect with itself and it wouldn't let me do it. So that's the old one. We can ignore this base for now. And I just wasn't happy with this. The new one is this one, and I took a little bit of a different approach. I'm kind of liking this a little bit better. But this came with its own challenges. So the problem that I ran into with this was when you have complicated geometry and you have faces that are really close to coincident but aren't quite, Fusion will break. Fusion will say, I can't do that, Dave. And so I had to like fine tune, adjust splines and stuff. Oh, really? I didn't know that was a no-go. I've just seen people do the multi-string thing lately, and I've just been trying it out. So, you know, if I get kicked off, then we'll know why. Yeah, so I had to do a lot of back and forth fine-tuning, and then even then, getting it to be hollow was another challenge in and of itself. Yeah, exactly. Fusion, when you're doing organic stuff, Fusion is not a very friendly software. I think I do need to learn a little bit more of Blender. I've touched Blender a couple of times, and what discourages me from using it is not remembering all the hotkeys for just basic manipulation and transforming and stuff. So I just need a cheat sheet to just put right there, so if I want to do something, I can just do a quick look like, oh, that's G, right? I'll hit G for that or something or whatever. So let's go back to where everything started. Boop. Here we are. Okay, so we have this sketch. It's just a simple sketch. And then we have this sketch. We've got two sketches, one in this direction and one in this direction. And then we have this sketch, which is a combination between the two. So in this direction, it looks like it's following this curve. in this direction, it looks like it's following this curve. Look at that. And so you can see it just kind of follows both curves. It does an intersection curve. So I used that to create a sweep. Now, what profile did I use for the sweep? Reliance is trying to learn ZBrush. Yeah, I've been watching, Wexter. I kept thinking that on Wexter's stream, he uses ZBrush, and he's a wizard because he just goes fast doing everything. I'm just like, what are you even doing? So it looks pretty overwhelming. It looks like you have a huge tool set of things to use. So it looks like quite the learning curve. And you're used to the Autodesk programs. 3ds Max, I dabbled in 3ds Max briefly at work. We have 3ds Max, but my position doesn't strictly entail doing 3D modeling at work. I'm a software engineer. And there was just one point that I was working on a project creating like some 3D modeling, not 3D modeling, but to take a 3D model and be able to show it in a browser and do stuff with it, and that some of that entailed, dabbling in 3ds Max. I never touched Blender, or Maya. Sorry, I never touched Maya. But yeah, when you get used to one, it's kind of hard to understand how to use another. Okay, so now that we have that. Yeah, you feel good technical the moment you can master ZBrush. You can do sculpt plus technical. Yeah, I kind of do that with Nomad. Sometimes I will get the gist of kind of what I want in Fusion. And then as soon as I need something more organic, I will export it out of Fusion, import it into Nomad, and then do some manual sculpting. That's kind of what I did with my first birdhouse with the organic shapes there. And then I exported it from Nomad as an FBX. And with an FBX, you can actually go into create form and you can insert a T-spline. And then when you insert the FBX, if everything plays nice, it'll insert it as a T-spline, and then it'll be its own little form, which makes it a lot easier to deal with rather than just importing an STL or OBJ file and having all those triangles to deal with. So that's kind of been my workflow for adding organic stuff to something. That's what I did with I have a poop emoji here. We're currently potty training my daughter, and we've had a lot of prizes inside here. She likes ducks, so we have a lot of these like little tiny ducks. Anyways, when she has a success and she goes potty, she comes to this little poop, and this was designed in Nomad, and I imported it into Fusion for the functional aspect of the lid. So I did that with a few other things. It's not something I do often, but sometimes I find that that's what it calls for. All right, so this tool, what I use to do this is called a sweep. That's what this is, sweep. And you can tell it to follow any path. And so because I created this 3D sketch type path here, I just created this crazy looking profile here. I wasn't too crazy with it. And then I just did this path thing. Okay. Then I did a few things to kind of clean it up a bit. Okay. And then in an attempt to ensure that I could have, so what I tried to do with this pattern, even before I did this column thing, I tried to do 6 and join them, and it didn't work because there was a lot of complicated geometry, and it kept saying, oh, you're going to have to adjust something. So I did 3 first with this column in the middle and joined that. and then I copied it and rotated it 60 degrees and then joined that again, and that seemed to work. So yeah, that was fun to figure out. But now, let's get rid of these. It's not hollow. And if I try to use the shell tool on this, I'm gonna break Fusion. Fusion is not optimized to handle that kind of computation. I tried it once. I clicked it and hit shell and it said to do it like 2 millimeters, and I walked away. And maybe about a half hour later, I came back to an error saying, nope, can't do that. So yeah, not fun. So what I did, which I think I might have to adjust because it's still a little thick, shell breaks. That's right, Reliance. I used the surface tool. So there's this tool called Unstitch. And when you have a solid and you use Unstitch, anywhere where you see a seam, like see this squiggly seam or this squiggly seam, it's going to unstitch. So all of these faces end up being separate, incomplete bodies. So if we go forward one step on our timeline, you can do vase mode. Yes, and I did create a model where, especially because this was just extruded down, you know, you could just, anyway, you can do vase mode, but for it to be more structurally sound, I would rather have it have like a couple millimeters thickness. This light is going to shine through that if you use white. And yeah, I'm just not a fan because I've had experiences in where I printed something in vase mode and trying to take it off the build plate, it like split along the seams, probably because I was printing too fast or not hot enough or what have you. And it's just more fragile. So I try not to rely on vase mode. So right here, I just did unstitch on my timeline, and you can see we have all of these partial bodies here. Tulsa Skin, welcome in. No farting, not allowed. Yeah, that's right. Plus, at the top here, that becomes completely hollow. So you print vase mode all the way to the top, and then this is just completely see-through. So you can just see down into it, which that may fit a lot of people's aesthetic. I mean, there's a lot of lamps like that out there in the world, so that's doable. But I would rather have there be a roof, so to speak, on it as well. So yeah. All right. So now these two options, I just deleted a couple faces, so now you can kind of see right through it. It's kind of like just a hollow shell at this point. And then I stitched the rest of them back together. So I basically, I think what I could have done is I could have just selected that top surface and hit delete without having to unstitch it. But this way, kind of purposefully unstitching it, removing some things and stitching it back together gives me more control on the timeline to make sure that nothing breaks if I make any changes before or after. So I'm just trying to be kind to the timeline. Bang timeline. Respect the sacred timeline. So now we have one body. It's got 20 faces, you can see over here. And I make a copy of it and I scale it down. Now I think I want to do the scale slightly small. I want the differences to be slightly smaller because I feel like that's too big of a gap. So I'm going to adjust this to see if I can still get it to work. Now I'm already printing this right now, but based on the print, I could adjust this. And I'm only scaling on the XY direction. On the Z direction, up and down, I'm keeping that the same. So it's only making it smaller in this direction. Let's do 0.94. See what that looks like. Really? 0.95? Let's go with 0.95. Okay. Okay. Oh, Suskin. You're not my dad. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. This one, I believe I'm reversing normal. So you notice if I step back here, it's kind of got this darker, what do you call that? Beige or something on the inside. But I want this to be facing outward. And by outward, I mean, when I look on the inside, I want this to be an external wall. So I use this tool, which is called reverse normal. So it changes which side is the outside wall. So I just changed the inside so it's like that. And then I used some patching. So I'm creating some patching and splitting and stuff. So now I have this surface right here to be able to connect the inner and outer walls. And then I'm going to create another patch up here. So now this is patched. Why did I do that? Oh, I must have been tired when I did that. So you'll notice. So I used patch to create a surface on which I could add a sketch or add a plane, removed that surface, added a sketch to this plane, and then extruded. And what that did is it made this line is on the same plane as this, and I wanted to put that down about 2 millimeters so that when I create a patch right there between this surface and this surface, when I patch both of those and then combine everything, the bottom or the top will have a 2 millimeter space. Welcome in, Pete. Thanks for joining us. So now you can see I created a patch here, and then I created a patch there. Well, I did that. My gosh. The Free Heathen, welcome in. Piled 3D, thanks for joining us. Here, let's come back here for a second. Say hi to everyone. Thanks for the raid. What were you working on, Maker Millwright? What were you discussing? For those who don't know me, I am Eric, aka Bearded Printer. I do a lot of 3D modeling using Autodesk Fusion, and I also sometimes dabble in Nomad Sculpt if I need something more organic. You can see, so right now we're working on a lamp that's actually printing right now. That'll be done sometime tonight. It's a big one. I'm printing off a lamp interface thing on this printer, and I'm printing something else on the printer behind me right there. That's printing parts for this. So we've got some stuff going on. You were talking trash and having fun. Meant to play games, but it was just chatting. Nice. You know, sometimes those are the best kinds of streams. You're so close to seeing mode. Jake S. Chickenwire, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming in with the raid. Jupiter Robotics, welcome in. Yeah. So, what we first worked on, for those who just joined us. So I have this lamp, but there is a problem. So last stream we designed this thing to be able to accommodate a light bulb, and so it could still kind of interface with this and screw in. And this, there's this little hole here where the cord goes, but there was a problem where the cord being stiff would cause this to tilt. It would push down and then it would tilt the lamp. So at the beginning of the stream, we modeled a solution so that was no longer the case, and that is currently printing on the Prusa XL. We have a second lamp that we are currently working on, and I'm kind of going over the challenges that I was having with it. So, built over bot with the hydrate. Now that I know he's here, we're going to be crashing Fusion a little bit more. Okay. So, you see on the timeline here, I'm going to back up just a second, just so people can see what I was doing. So, rolling the timeline back here, we have this body, and there's this tool called Unstitch. And what Unstitch does is anywhere there's a seam, like here, or this squiggly, or right here, it's going to unstitch it. And you'll see when I step forward on the timeline and click forward, you'll see that changes. So now I have all of these partial bodies. So this is a partial body, this is a partial body, this is a partial body. So we have a lot of partial bodies here. And the reason why I did that, because there was a problem where I needed to make this hollow, but the shell tool here with this geometry breaks Fusion. Fusion is, this organic stuff is not Fusion's strong suit. So a workaround is I unstitched it and I cut away these things. Now I did try to use this. There's a tool called Thicken, has the similar issue as Shell, where if there's a lot of complicated geometry, it will not be friendly. It will use it computationally, it will not be able to handle it very well. So I couldn't use Thicken, I couldn't use Shell. So I deleted the top, I deleted the bottom, and I created, so I'm going to jump forward in time here. I manually created some faces, and if I make this disappear, you can see, if we look more closely, this surface is about 2 millimeters lower than this surface. So that should create a shell of about 2 millimeters on top here. I also created a bottom surface right here. And you'll notice with this, oh dear. With this, I copied and scaled it. So if we go back here, because I skipped over that pretty quick, roll back. So you'll know this is kind of where we were. I made a copy and I scaled it down. So now we have two versions of the same body. And so then I just did some finagling to change the normals of the inside so they were poking outside. And yeah. So going forward in our timeline, we create our patchwork, but now you see over here to the left, we have 5 incomplete bodies here. So now we're ready to use Stitch because we've kind of completed what our model is, but we need to stitch it all together. So we use Stitch and it goes back into a body, into a solid body. Fusion is thinking at the moment. Give it some time. It's thinking. Oh, here it is, Bob. It's gonna crash because of you. Bob is only here to crash things. 1, 2, 3, go. Just waiting on you, Fusion. Come on, Crash. He's rooting for it. He's rooting for the fusion crash. Fortunately, this is in a good save state already. I was just going back in the timeline to adjust things. Though I did make an adjustment on the scale so that the walls would be a little bit thinner. I'm curious how those will look. Oh, look. It survived. Sorry to disappoint you, Bob. Okay. So, there we go. Wonder if I can make this any thicker. Because that's pretty thin right there. I want to make that thicker. Okay. Oh, you know, it might crash again. It might crash again. All I did was a move operation. I just stepped forward once, and it's working hard. It's working hard. So what I think I might do, because I did make the shell a little bit thinner, printing on this surface might be a bit of a challenge, because, yeah, go ahead and root for it. It could be a little bit of a challenge to print this, because there's not a lot of surface area. It could dislodge from the build plate pretty easily. So what I think I might do is I may take all of this. I'm not sure if I can scale it. Last time I tried to scale a solid body on just the XY on this model, it yelled at me and said it couldn't. Come on. So... let's try it. What's this sketch? Okay. The rest of the operations is it was me kind of messing around with the bottom part of it, so that's not as important at the moment. But I'm gonna save this. Yeah, it'll be fine. Wait for it to save. Okay, let's see what this does. I'm gonna change the point to be at the origin so it doesn't go weird places. Oh, I want to do that before I move it down. So step back. Okay. Scale this. Change the point. Bring back origin right here. Non-uniform. Is it gonna hate me? Take your votes. Is it gonna hate me? I'm really punishing Fusion at the moment. I'm really making Fusion work hard. Let's change this to 0.98 as well. And then we're going to do a second extrude to make this wall right here a little bit thicker. And the reason why I don't just make it thicker is because I already have the base somewhat made, and I don't want to have to redo some of the things. With doing stuff like this, there is a high probability that we're gonna crash Fusion today. Oh, I like to punish Fusion. And 1, 2, 3, go. I believe in you, Fusion. I believe in you. I believe in Fusion. Seems to be working all right. All right. It's still thinking. Oh no! Well, it says updating NAS properties. Geez. Oh, it totally worked. Okay, let's make Origin go away. Okay. Whoop. Okay. Let's make you go away. Wait a minute. Why do I only have one body here? I'm confused. Leoncio, 85, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Undo. I'm going to undo these. I thought I already had a base that I was working on in this point. I don't know if it's a bug with Fusion or if I legitimately didn't have one. Because sometimes when I use Control-Z at a point where bodies would have been created, they won't show up under the bodies in the hierarchy. So... Oh, that's not working. I have to hit finish because I'm in a sketch. Delete. Okay. Let's try that again. So without the scale, whoa. So it is just so, oh my goodness. Okay. I'm also going to project this, but make it a construction line. Whoops, that doesn't have to be construction. Okay, and I want the whole thickness to be 5 mil. Okay. Because of this geometry, if I try to just... Oh, jeez. I'm going to change this to cut back to new body so it doesn't try to calculate a cut for me. You'll notice if I try to make this go up far enough to where it is flush with the outside, you'll notice on the inside here that it is showing there. But if I go low enough to where it doesn't show there, it's going to show here. So we are going to do some interesting things to fix that. So let's just go up 26 mil with the new body. And I'm going to use this combo. I'm going to combine, but I'm going to cut. I want to keep tools. I want to cut this ring I just made using this whole lamp as a tool body. And I want to keep tools because I don't want the lamp that's cutting it to go away. That's going to create an unnecessary body that I will then have to remove. But it will match the contour of the lamp. The piece that I want to keep will match the contour of the lamp. Oh my goodness. Is this the time that it's gonna break on me? Is it gonna crash on me? Take your bets. Take your bets. Or make your bets. I don't know. I don't gamble. I just work here. It's working hard. Our new lamp bottom is at 60% for this lamp here. We'll see if it works. That's the beauty of the additive manufacturing. It's just so easy to prototype and pump out prototypes. Come on, Fusion, I believe in you. You can do it. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Ah, see? All I had to do was start counting and it got scared. Okay, so this piece I need to remove. Right click, remove, it's gone. I'm going to do another combine, but I'm going to do the join operation. I don't need to keep tools. We want to join these two together. Hit OK. Bob's over here rooting for it to crash on us. Now I know that there's going to be some actions down here or some features down here that are going to tell me that there's a lost reference because I added a new edge to the outside of this, and I know I have a chamfer somewhere that uses that. So I'm going to take a guess that later in the timeline, a chamfer is going to turn yellow saying, ah, we lost the reference to this. Fusion's thinking it's updating mass properties again. Let's wear my little friend here. I'll wear him on this shoulder. There we go. We got Ralph the raccoon here. We can pretend it's a crash. So for those who don't know, this is a model by Built Overbot. I scaled it up by like 500 or 700% or something. It's normally like only this big. And I printed it on the H2D. It's quite large, almost as big as my ego. Well, not really. Not even close to my ego. Let's be honest. Okay, I'm gonna save this because that was quite an expensive operation. Let's wait for that to save. Got Ralph on my shoulder. Okay. Okay, let's step forward. We move it down. See, this is where I am confused because I move it down, but I was quite certain I had a reference to another body at some point. But the body is missing. We're probably gonna create a new body anyways. The Eagles, right. We've got a box full of your stuff ready to sell this weekend. My wife put together a little banner to share online for people to come by. Last weekend it was raining, so we didn't get to sell anything, but this weekend, my son is really excited. He's just so excited. By the way, we're waiting on this to happen, this move. Okay, I'm gonna close this and reopen it. What is happening? Okay, let's close this. Sure, we'll save it. Because I have a suspicion that we're missing bodies over here. We don't want to be missing bodies on this string. Missing bodies is bad. Okay. Let's open it again. I'm quite certain we had missing bodies. Right, Ralph? We don't want missing bodies. See, look. We've got more bodies here that we're missing. Okay. So what I'm going to do So we have this base here. Now, initially I was thinking that it could also be like a catch for keys and stuff, and then later kind of decided against it. What I want to do at this point is, shoot. I'm not happy with how this is turning out. I'm going to ignore this. Shoot. Okay. We're gonna make a new base. Shoot. Oh. I figured it all out this morning. I'm gonna have to redo it all. So you guys get to see me work here. Alright. We're gonna do a completely new base. Now, I think this should have moved down slightly more, because I kind of want these little ridges to kind of meet this. See this green line here? So sure, that looks good. I gotta train the trash panda to find bodies for me. Gotta train the trash panda to find bodies for me. Oh my goodness. This is a struggle. I'm really making fusion. I'm punishing fusion. That's basically what I'm doing at the moment. I think part of my problem is even though it's not having to work with these steps in my timeline, it still does some kind of calculation to retain in its memory, you know, references to all this stuff. So, a needle pulling thread. I'm gonna delete all this stuff. Deleted. Makes me cry, but we'll get through it. I'll figure it out. Okay. I'm going to add a chamfer to this. Just one. We still want to get surface for it to print on. Jeez. Okay, so while working on the base, I know things are going to be working a lot faster as soon as I make this invisible. So I just need to hit the eye on this. But I do need the profile of it here to model around it. Come on! Fusion! Do my bidding! Do it right now. Ah. This is not fun. This is not fun. Okay, you're gonna go away for now. Okay. Sure. All right, well, let's sketch on this plane. Now, I do need this to exist for a second while I use intersect. I need to find these spots. Okay, it is now intersecting. Okay, you go away. All right. So now I need a shelf for this to kind of sit on. So it's going to... Yeah. Let's do this. Yeah. We're gonna change this. So instead of 2, let's have it be 3. And I'm gonna use collinear to make sure this is always in line with this. I want this to be about point, I don't know, and this, it doesn't matter, I just like to create clearance. Gonna be 0.3. Okay, and then this will be 5. Ah, 30, sure, why not? 8. Yes. Yes, that'll be good. Okay. Now we can do our revolve. Revolve. And because I only had one profile to select from, it already selected the profile for me, and it's just waiting for me to select an axis. Hit OK. Okay, so now we have this thing that the lamp is going to sit in. And it looks like I made that too tall. So I'm going to go back in here. Change this to 35. Let's do 37. Nope. 27. Sorry. Would 29 work? 29 is still too close. 28. We're gonna do 28. Nope. This guy. 28. Okay. Okay, go away. Okay, so on the back here, you're going to make a channel for the cord to fit. It's going to be about 8 millimeters. Let's just create a construction line down the middle. I do not want this to be construction. Why did those not connect there? Silly bean. Okay. Dimension these to be, this is going to be 8 mil. But to make sure it's in the middle, I'm going to select this and do divide by 2. Okay. Distance to object down here. Done. Okay, and then let's make it so we don't catch anything on these. 5 looks good. Okay. So with this lamp here, the cord's going to be able to come right out there. Okay, I'm liking that. I don't know, 3. We'll chamfer the bottom, 1. Okay. And I'm going to do a fillet right here. Cool. All right, so that sits right on there. Now I want it to screw in. I don't want it, like, if someone accidentally knocks it over, I don't want it to, like, pop out. So I want this to be able to screw on. Now, I don't want to just use the default threads because I want to control how much they have to thread it. I want more control over that. So I'm going to use coils to do that. Let's hit save so we don't lose our work. But that looks like it'll be good. So the goal of this, and as soon as it's done saving, I'll show you. This is going to be universal, and I want to be able to. Oh, thank you. Oh, sweet. Just got some more merchant. I want this surface, or I want to be able to interface various. I guess I'll just call them interfaces. So there's several different types of light fixtures to hold these light bulbs. And so if I make this universal and that you can just change your attachment that goes in here based on what you need, that would be preferred. So we're going to do that. And I haven't quite figured out how we're going to do that. But I do know this surface is going to utilize a coil. So let's get a coil going first. Let's just go based off of this surface. Coil right here. Let's change the diameter. I don't know. I can't remember what the diameter needs to be. The height, I don't know, 6. And the section view, 3.5. Okay. 100 would be more accurate. I'm going to choose new body because I forgot to measure some things. Now, this coil is going to be this is actually going to be on this lamp here, not this. Oops, sorry, not this. So we need the coil to be on the outside of this, which if we click on it, 109.75. So I'm going to edit this, 109.75. Okay, so now I need to change this a little bit because if I'm right there, you'll see there's going to be an overhang where this meets with this surface. So it's going to be a little bit smaller than 109.75. So I think let's try 108.5, 0.3. So long as that would interface with the other one, it should be fine. Okay. Let's do 0.4. That looks good. Sure. Height is 6 mil. Okay. Now I'm going to rotate this because what I want to do is after it's done screwing in, I don't want to see any threads here. Now I know this is going to be in the back. People aren't going to be able to see it, but I just think it'd just be one extra thing that would be nice is if after they screw it in, there would be no threads showing here. So I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees and work with it there. So let's do a move operation on this thing. We're gonna do rotate around this axis. $90. Okay. And I'm gonna move it up a bit as well. Let's move this up. Now we do need the thread to be at the bottom. We can't move it up. We can move it up a little bit higher, but we need it to be able to be in a position where it can start to interface with the opposite threads. So let's see, 2. If I go at 3, I think at that point it would be pretty good. That's fine. Let's go there. And then I want the ends of before I do that, I do want the ends of these to taper, but like I said, I don't want them to exist right there. So I'm going to use this object to cut it. So let's cut this object using this face and this face. Okay. And I'm going to rejoin these. Okay. And we'll remove these two. Remove. Okay. So now if we join this onto this, what is this? You'll see that they won't show here after it's all screwed together. But I want these ends to taper. So we're going to chamfer these. And I'm not going to do equal distance chamfer. I'm going to do 2 distance. So I'll chamfer in, but I'm also going to chamfer this direction. Looks like the most I can go is 10 mil. Sure, that looks good. That looks like it's poking out enough. All right, I'm gonna adjust this to be 1.15. There we go. All right, and now we combine it. There. So now we have our external thread. Ooh, hamburgers. Peslas, you're not sharing? You're not sharing the hamburgers? Come on. Yeah, there's going to be a hamburglar if you're not careful. Hamburgers does sound pretty good, though. I like me a good hamburger. I'm glad you made it safely home, though. Okay, so we are going to do a very similar thing to the outside, but we want the thread cuts to go all the way to the top. So instead of just 1 revolution like we did on this external thread, we're going to do 2 revolutions for the internal thread. And because there's 2 revolutions, we're going to double the height. So instead of 6, it's going to be 12. Cats are easily bored, though, Peslas. Is that surprising? Welcome in, Bailey. I did not say that. Sheesh. Sheesh. And Wexter, we got another raid with 17 people. Welcome in. I think I might be one of those 17 people because I think I'm still in your stream. Let's come back over here. We are making Fusion suffer. Fusion's strong suit is not organic modeling, and I have a lot of organics complicated geometry going on, and Fusion is struggling. So thanks again for the raid. Welcome in, Karen. I did not do a floppy hot dog. I'm not going to. Yeah, so thanks for the raid, Wexter. It was awesome chatting with you and seeing you do stuff and things and other stuff. You can go to bed now. Thank you. So for those who don't know who I am Eric, aka Bearded Printer. I do the things and accomplish the stuff using Fusion mostly. Sometimes I'll dabble in Nomad Sculpt if I need anything organic. I have this hoop that this was modeled in Nomad Sculpt, and then I imported it into Fusion to make it a container. We use this to help potty train our kids. My son loves cars. We put cars in there, so every time you get a success, you can go to the poop container to get a car. Now we're potty training my daughter, and every time she goes to the bathroom successfully, she gets a duck. So thanks for the bits, Wexter. I appreciate that. Welcome in Star Wars 3. Yeah, there's a creature here. This is my creature. What a lovely little creature. Yeah. So, yeah, we are currently struggling in Fusion. The model that we have here is very intensive. We've got a lot of organic, complicated geometry going on. So whenever I make a change to that specific thing, it suffers. Yeah, I love the creature too. I think Wexter did a very good job on it. So again, thanks for the raid. Thanks for the bits. Feel free to go to bed whenever it's pretty late for you. So now we need to create the inner threads for this, because we just created the outer thread for this, and we did it in a way to where they won't show after you screw it in to this. But now this needs a thread. Mlit, welcome in. I didn't see you. Have you done any 3D prints from pictures? Not yet. I'll show something though. Just as a joke, I'm gonna bring this over here just so I don't accidentally dox myself. Just as a joke, I used AI. Oh, and we got a hype train. Thanks for the bits, Pezliz. I'm not his real dad. Took hours. It took him hours to sculpt it. Grid is gross. So I used AI to generate this picture. So we have this picture, and then I used Bamboo's model generation tool. I'm gonna use Prusa Slicer because it loads faster to create a 3D model of this. It is cursed. It is absolutely cursed. Mad Scientist Slack makes HueForge prints from pictures. So is that what you're referring to, Mlit? Making the prints from pictures that way? Or were you referring to creating 3D models using pictures? Guaranteed Alexis one. So let's find it. I gotta find it. Donut feet. Yeah. Are you using HueForge to make those? Wit? There you go. Look at that. Look at those cursed donut feet right there, people. Cursed. Also, welcome in, Grania. And she's wondering if you were also referring to the lithophanes. But yeah, I have this that I created a while back. This is a HueForge of me. You can't even tell who's who. So this is a HueForge that I 3D printed. But I haven't done a ton of it. It's Beard Forge, that's right. So so many people had donuts on the metro. Why didn't you ask them? You should have asked them for a donut. Discard. Go away, cursed feet. Nobody had donut feet. Well, I'm sure that's a good thing, Pezliz. Nobody should have donut feet. But as I was saying, sorry, I keep getting distracted. The threads don't show up at this opening after you screw it on. I mean, at least that's the goal. Now, I feel like this needs to be a little bit higher of a pitch. So I'm going to choose 7 millimeters. So it's a little bit higher of a pitch. And this is 108.4. Grania doesn't know what's worse, donut feet or Crocs. We could probably try to make them into shoes. That would be a challenge. Oh, cursed. I don't know if I want to. It would be so bad. What is happening here? Oh, it's because I'm modifying this monstrosity. I'm making Fusion suffer. I'm really making Fusion suffer right now. The donut, oh, yeah. I should make a prompt that, you know, giving that picture, I could put that into Gemini and say, put Crocs on these feet, and then make a model out of that. Of course TechJeeper would. Of course TechJeeper would wear those. Oh, jeez. So bad. It's so cursed. But yeah. You know, I actually learned, so there's a movie called Idiocracy. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but everyone's wearing Crocs in that movie. Made donut feet into slippers for swimming. Oh my gosh, the looks that you would get. The looks that you would get wearing those, like, oh my gosh. And I can't remember where I heard this, so, you know, you might want to double check your sources. But I heard that when they were making Idiocracy, if you love that documentary, it is a documentary, isn't it? So many things. The first comedy to become a documentary. When they were trying to figure out the outfits of this dystopian idiot society, they wanted to find the stupidest looking shoes possible. And they found this, and this was before Crocs were a thing, but they found this very small business that were making these Crocs, and they're like, that's what we need, these Crocs. So everyone in that movie is wearing those Crocs, and then naturally it became a thing. Everyone's wearing those Crocs now. You can't put anything on the internet that isn't true, Staros3, so that's true. Yeah, that's right. They looked so stupid that there was no way people would ever wear them. And look at what we're doing today. Oh my gosh. So bad. The self-fulfilling Croc prophecy. Okay. Let's do another coil here. This is going to be the outer. Okay, and let's just click here. Okay, the section, I'm going to do 3.7, so it's slightly bigger because the other needs to fit inside it. The height, I'm going to do 14 because it was 7. The revolution is going to be 2. And the diameter, what did we choose? 109.5. It needs to be a little bit bigger than that. We don't want too much of an overhang right here. Oh, maybe that's good. We don't want too much of an overhang right here. So 1.4. Prophecy. Oh, man. Self-fulfilling Croc prophecy. Yeah. Next be the only shoes someday. I refuse to wear Crocs. I will not wear Crocs. They are so bad. They are so bad. You were a part of the movie as an extra. Well, he got to keep them. Ah, that's awesome. Wait, got to keep his Crocs. Yeah, it was the first time Crocs came out. That's funny. Oh man. Okay, let's cut that. Now, is that tall enough? Oh no, it's not. Okay. I'm going to change this to be 16. And I'm going to change this to be a new body because we need to rotate it again and move it into a similar position. Okay, and I need to adjust this as well, and it's going to take a while again. We're going to change this to 8. Okay, wait for Fusion to struggle. Struggle time for Fusion. So Whit was a part of the movie as an extra when he first woke up, and we all got to keep him. Why haven't you worn them since? Whit hasn't worn them since. But you have them in your box of things. I would keep them. That'd be a good memento. I mean, what is Holly? I don't know if it was Holly. Yeah, what would they do with them if they kept everyone's Crocs? Like, oh, we're gonna keep this in storage for, whatever reason. Like, really? Let everyone keep their Crocs. Yeah, that movie. I've only seen that movie once, but it was so hilarious. It was just so hilarious to watch, and then just like seeing a lot of those things happen. I'm just like, oh my gosh, really? Well, would she watch it if she knew it was a documentary? I think we all need to convince Bob's wife to watch Idiocracy. There's a lot of fun stuff. Oh yeah, you told her. Well, maybe she doesn't believe you. It's an educational film. You need to be more convincing. Okay, and this coil, did I choose 16? I should have chosen 16. Yep, I did. That's looking good. Let's move this. Rotate around this axis. 90 degrees. Neat. Okay. Oh, and we do need to move it up as well. This one, how far did I move it up? 3 millimeters? We will move this one up 3 millimeters. A little bit, maybe a little bit less than 3 millimeters. The doctor seems so awesome. I see she cannot trust me. I mean, you're always giving good advice. I don't understand what the deal is. Now, if I keep it here... Now, if I keep it here... So I'm trying to think third-dimensionally, where when I screw it in, because there's a little bit of a gap, it'll overscrew and some of it will show. So that means the bottom would have to come up sooner before it's done screwing, which means this would have to be slightly further down for the two bottoms to hit right here. So let's do 2.9. $2.8. We're just gonna guess here. Okay, and I don't need to cut this up. I just need to do a join here. Cut. We're gonna cut this using this. I don't care about keeping tools. Hit OK. All right, so now we have our thread. It looks like it starts right here and goes all the way down. And that would go into the thread. And you can kind of see where it ends right there. Okay. What I'm going to do before I print this whole thing with my changes is I'm just going to print this by itself and this bottom part by itself to make sure it threads. I did this previously with the previous changes I made, and that's how I got this, and this threads beautifully. But because I just made changes with the width of this and had to redo those threads, I'm going to reprint just these two parts to make sure that it threads okay. So, I don't know, I feel like it's super smooth, almost glides in there. I'm very happy with that. And no supports either. Oh, so I really need to fix my chat window. It's supposed to show both chats here, but it's not. Wit's saying that they trash props and destroy most of the time you would be allowed to keep one thing. I've seen like interviews from celebrities talking about previous movie they were on and them talking about stuff they brought home. So it seems pretty common. Yeah, I bet you would if you showed them proof that it was part of the film, that there were the originals. I'm sure someone would pay a pretty penny for those. Yes, Star Wars 3, I'm dual streaming to YouTube at the moment. I thought I had changed the permissions of stream elements to be able to combine both of them, but apparently it didn't work. So I need to troubleshoot that and then try again on Tuesday. Okay, so we've got our thread there. We've got a big enough hole for the cord to come out. Now there's one major thing we're missing. We need a way to insert our socket for the light bulb to go in. So I'm going to take the socket out of this. So we've got our light bulb, and we've got this thing that unscrews. Okay, so this was for our other lamp. You don't need that anymore. But we want to accommodate this type of action. You can't take me anywhere nice. Just drop things. Can't take me anywhere nice. So we've got this thing that screws on, so this would sandwich onto something. So there's this kind, but there's also a kind that doesn't have this type of thing at all. It's just plain that can sit in there. So that's why I'm thinking I could make it so it's modular and you could just use this as a universal base, and then based on what kind of socket you have, you can just glue it in and make your own. Yeah, sorry. I really do need to fix it. It's supposed to show YouTube's chats, but it's not. So I need to figure that out. Okay. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. But first, I have a thing that I want to open. Pro streamer here. Take a short break. The other comments were voices in my head. That's right, I'm talking to myself. All right. Can anyone guess? We got another raid. Shenanigans, welcome in. So I was just showing off some merch after taking a break. Welcome in. Giggy Jack, thanks for joining us. What were you working on? I think it was a 3D printing stream, and I had you up. I think I was lurking, but I didn't get a chance to pop in and say hi. Cruise and Grill, welcome in. I was just showing off. This just came in the mail. Can anyone guess who this merch is from? I'm also wearing Fedor's printed spaghetti shirt and a zombie hedgehog hat. Thanks for giving the shout out, Pezliz. Yeah, for those who don't know who Shenanigans is, he Shenanigans does a lot of shenanigans on his stream. Right now, he's been working on a silicone type printer, and he does. You can watch him do 3D modeling and fusion. You can watch him do a lot of fun electronic type things. He also does lamps and lights and all sorts of stuff. So if you're into crafting, Shenanigans is a good one to watch. That's right, Karen Chow. Also, Karen Chow started streaming again as well. If you want to watch her, she's been doing some fun things, modeling and also playing Dr. Mario late. So, and rockets and jets. That's right. Tactically, Yukon, you're right. He's done 3D printed jets like that have melted. So there's that. Oh, okay. So he did the 3D printing stream earlier. This was an IRL stream. So Shenanigans also does IRL streams. He drives trucks. It looks like he was train spotting. Nice. I do have other things to show real quick. So on Matter Hackers, when you purchase stuff off Matter Hackers, it's similar to other platforms where you can get points back or cash back from purchases. And I got a notification that some of the reward cash back that I had was going to expire. I had like $44. And then I had some other gift cards. So I was like, well, I got to use it. So I bought a bunch of Protopasta filament. All right, have fun feeding George, Cruising Girl. Oh yeah, have fun recovering the board. So I have a ton of just fun filament. So this stuff looks kind of fun. I'll have to visit George again. It's been a while since I pulled up your stream, Cruising Girl. This is Nebula Cotton Candy Pastel, HTPLA. Nebula Cotton Candy Pastel HTPLA. I decided to get just a bunch of fun filaments from Protopasta. This one, it's hard to see, but it's very glittery. This stuff is gold dust glitter. I've got some Nebula Silver Silk, very similar to the other pastel stuff. So if you guys have ideas of what I should print with these, let me know. This one is partly cloudy blue. So this one looks like it's a transition filament. Bingbird, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. This one is Mango Medley. These are all 500 gram rolls. I got 9 of them. This one is Cobalt Blue. Very blue, very nice. Oh, this one, Cruising Girl, would this one be good for an octopus? I wasn't paying attention to chat. Built Overbot was thinking of ordering some of the clear PLA from Matter Hackers. I've used that clear PLA from Matter Hackers. I feel like it's pretty good. That's right, Tech Jeeper. I won't tell anyone I won the lottery, but there will be signs. I'll have a lot of filament. Oh, the blue one would be good for an octopus. That's what you're saying. This one is called Seafoam Green. Some of these colors aren't showing correctly on camera, but this one is very pretty. We've got 2 more here. We've got Crony Green. Casually showing off $10,000 worth of Protopasta. And then this one is Blood of My Enemies. So I'm excited to print with this one. I've seen this one being used a lot, but I haven't had a chance to. So yeah, fun. So a lot of fun stuff. My deposition sound stuff also was delivered. So you can see I've got the Bluetooth speakers right here that I'm printing out. I'm printing off more stuff right there on my H2D. This one looks like it's done. We can grab that. And then I have over there, you can kind of see the copy of the lamp that I'm printing. Yeah, I've always wanted to see Blood of My Enemies in person as well. So see if I can grab this. There we go. All right, we're about to see if this works. We modeled this on Stream today and sent it to print. We're gonna see if it works. Okay. Oh, you know what I just realized? Oh, I can take this off. It was only partially glued, apparently. It's broken now. Just grab my pliers. We're trying to break this off. I glued it on, but obviously not very well. Okay, so this should fit right in here, like this. And then this will screw into it. So let's unscrew this part. We're going to push this into here, screw this on, and then this should be able to fit right in here like this. Now I do need to glue that in because this wants to pop out. Oh, but if I glue that, then I won't be able to retrieve that. Ah, that's a problem. That's a problem. I'll have to think of a better solution for this. See, we just realized there was another problem. Up, and I can't screw it on because this is getting sandwiched. It's getting sandwiched before it can get over there. I can't screw it on. Oversights. So we have found some oversights that we need to resolve. I'll have to think about the best way to solve this. Okay, so our prototype was a fail. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Mark Marshall, welcome in. One and done BRB. All right. Oh, nice. Keyboard, you got your Cobra X. You're getting that together. Nice. I've had some good experiences with my Cobra X so far. Pretty good printer. Small piece of tape, maybe. You know, I could try the small piece of tape, but there's a problem with screwing it together. That's something I didn't consider while I was modeling this. So, I think PETG would be better at clear. I hear to get a better clear effect, you have to print hotter and slower. The layers have to adhere really well, and you want your layers to be thicker as well. You want fewer lines. Yeah. Anyway, that was great. Okay, let's go back here. I think we can model something real quick to accommodate our what's it thingy here. I need this so we can measure stuff and things and other stuff. That's too bad I wasn't considering that. Oh well. Okay, you go over here. I need to Can't take me anywhere nice. Okay. Tape on threads. Oh, you're Mark Marshall. Oh, all right. So the problem with this is if we try to combine it and screw it on like this would pinch the cable between the bottom of this and the bottom of this before it can get to this opening. So that is a no-go. The clearance is good though. It snaps. It's just no way to get the cable through here without it closing first. So that was an oversight I didn't think about. Fortunately, it wasn't a lot of filament. Lessons were learned. Good times. Okay, so I'm thinking that we can extrude up around some kind of hole that we can glue something into. They could probably just use glue. I could try to incorporate threads, but I don't know. I just feel like glue might just be better. I'm just going to... where are my calipers? I don't know how wide this needs to be, so I'm just going to measure this and then make it bigger than this. This is about 38, round up to 40. Let's do 45. There we go. So that's going to be where you can glue something in. And we want to make a track for the cable. And I'm going to add clearance to this number here, 45.3. Or 0.2. Let's do 0.2. Okay. Let's project this outside as well. Okay. So now let's extrude all of this up here. Now, would 5 millimeters be enough? I'm going to make it slightly bigger. 47.2. Okay, so now we can have something interfacing here. You can probably glue it. I don't think this is deep enough to merit threads. Plus, it can guarantee better that it'll be aligned with this channel here. Yeah, so we can have this. Someone's having fun. Now I need to measure from the point that this cord can bend to this lip here so that I know how tall this needs to be. And I also need to measure this. Thinking of the best way to do this. Can this be printed on the side? Because I'm thinking, so this is what I'm considering. Let's change scenes back to me here. So this is what I'm considering. So this, I'm gonna zoom in on this so you can see better, or focus on it. We have this lip right here that I'm considering. Now, I would want this to kind of seat in on something, but I also need something on top to sandwich it so this can't move. And then this, and then this would screw on top to hold it. right? So there needs to be something in between around these threads to hold it down, but this also needs to seat into something. But I also want it to be printable. So if I design it so that it prints on this surface and prints up, there's going to be some overhangs on the print to accommodate this geometry. So that's why I'm considering if I can think of it in terms of sideways and print it sideways, then I could accommodate this geometry. If that makes sense. So that's what I'm considering. Print it sideways, glue it in, but that would also mean that I would need a flat spot on one of the sides. Maybe the flat spot could be on this side. Oh, but no, because this side is going to have an opening, and that would mean there would have to be bridging towards the top because it'll be a circle. So it'd be better if it printed on this side and then stopped towards the openings right here. So did I already? So point two, not 2.2. So we want this to sit in. Where's my calipers? So I'm going to measure this spot right here that'll sit in. 38.8. So 38.8, let's add about a millimeter. So it'd be 37.8. No, 39.8. I was thinking in the wrong direction. So that would be able to sit that. I'm going to change this offset to be 0.1, just so that we have that clearance there. How tall is this going to be? Up to that. Let's say I'm going to say 55. Well, let's bend this cable. Let's go 65. Lady Kondo, thanks for the bit. Welcome in. So let's just do 65 here. New body, make sure. Whoops. We did want that to be open. Okay, and we'll edit this. Okay, so that's open right there. So that will sit right on there. And then we need, so this is going to slip in from the side. Oh man, I'm not liking this already. This is going to be some weird geometry. I think I need to add some kind of key to ensure that this is easily inserted in the proper orientation. I'm doing all right, Lady Kondo. Thanks for asking. Sorry, no making skills here. Okay. What's this diameter right here? It's 45.7. 45.7. I could try to print it so it so this seats in. You have something that goes over the top of this between or over the threads, but overlapping this. So that would hold it down. But we wouldn't want it to glue down because then we wouldn't be able to retrieve it. So it'd have to screw down. And then this would screw on top to sandwich onto that. Only you wouldn't need the top thing because that would already be screwed down. This would go out there. So this is what I'm thinking. We're going to undo these. I'm going to undo those. And I'm going to sketch from, let's sketch from here. Right in the middle here. We're going to do a section analysis. Okay. And let's find where things intersect. Okay. So we go here, and then I think it'll go somewhat like this. Okay. And then it would go down like this. So this is going to come over further this way. Okay. This will be 0.1. This will be 0.3. This will be, can't remember what this diameter is. Let's round up to 39, 40. Let's do 40 divided by 2, so that's just 20. Okay. This would be right here. Just going to create a construction line from here to here and then add a horizontal constraint to that. Okay. Now this That's 45.7. Let's do 46.7. Give it a millimeter, yep. So it should fit right in here. This distance is going to be 65. This distance is, let's do 3 millimeters there. And then I don't know, 30? Sure. Okay. And let's just no, we don't know how far down the threads will go. Well, let's say 6 mil there. Okay. I have no idea how this is gonna go, but we're gonna try it. Rotate around this axis. New body. Okay. Let's add threads. Oh, we want full modeled. Okay. Okay. Well, before we do that, let's step back. Let's say this is 8. And then we'll have another thing. No, we don't want to do that. Yeah, sure, why not? What are these threads? About 40, we'll do 41. I'm gonna change this to 2.7. Let's just do 2. Because we want it to protrude from here. But let's... Come on. Let's have that be a millimeter, that's fine. This to this. That's 41 divided by 2, that's 20.5. Okay. And then, I don't know, how thick should we have this? Let's thread this on to see. I feel like this is kind of redundant, but hey, why not? 9? Let's do 9.8 here. We'll just do 9. Okay. Let's make you go away temporarily. We'll do another revolve of this around this axis. Okay. And then we add a thread to that. Go away. And then we add a thread to this. Modeled, please. Okay. So that'll thread on and sandwich this in. And frankly, that'll hold it. So you actually wouldn't need this part, but you have the option to thread it on anyways, just in case you want to be extra secure. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just work here. Okay, I feel like this is a little thick, so I'm gonna go back here. I don't want it to be too thin. That's too thin. Okay. All right, now we need somewhere for the cord to pop out. So let's do a sketch up here. We don't need this analysis anymore. Sure. Extrude. To object, bottom here, cut. Okay. Now I need to add a key, so this can only be inserted in one direction. So let's add that. Okay. Sure, let's go with 8. And let's make sure that's connected to that circle. 8 divided by 2. And I'm going to make this a straight line here. I don't need to. That's going to be fine. Okay. Let's just go all the way up here. Yeah, sure, why not? Sure, why not? Combine, cut, keep. I want to cut this using this. Okay, you go away. Now I need to make this so that we don't have weird overhangs. So I'm gonna first, let's extrude this. Nope. I'm gonna hit Q. Negative 0.6. Add the clearance there. Q. Negative 0.2. Add clearance there. Now, bridging doesn't work very well on curves. So we're going to do some things to make sure that there aren't curves. This is going to be interesting. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do. Yeah, sure. Axis through 2 points. Is this going to work? Does that count as point? That counts as point. There we go. We've got our axis. We're going to plane at angle. Let's do this at a 35. Sure, that sounds good. I hit P, but I actually want to do this instead. Okay. Whoa. Sure. Okay, so now there's a straight bridge there. But we need a straight bridge on the other side. Okay, playing at angle. This will be at 35 as well. Intersect here and here. Let's draw some lines. Not sure how this is gonna go. This might be weird. Is that even gonna show properly? There we go. I think that looks good. Okay, now honestly, it was probably small enough to where it wouldn't cause any issues, but I feel like it's good practice. So here we've got a straight bridge, and then it builds onto it as it curves around. So no supports needed. That way, that fits right in there in one orientation. It can be glued in. In fact, probably would have been easier just to have this be one part. But because I want to be able to reuse this for other inserts, that should screw on top. Sandwich that on. Add a light. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's gonna work. Let's save it. Save. All right, well, that's gonna do that. I'm gonna pull up PufaSlicer. I want to send a test print to verify that those threads are going to work together. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. One, two, three, go. Did this finish saving? It did. This is going to be printed in this orientation. This is going to be printed in a different orientation. So let's do this. Align this with this. Flip. Go. Okay. Light socket cap. Light socket over. Lamp base. Lamp 003 base. Okay. Save as mesh. What? Hold on. Lamp 003 base. Oh, it was underlined. That's why I was confused. Okay. You know, this can probably be printed on this surface. Oh, but then there would be this overhang. Never mind. False alarm. Save that. Let's go over here. Print settings. No, multiple extruders. We can disable that. Base. Bottom. Tab open. No, thank you. Okay. And then let's add. Going to cut this. I know this can be done in the slicer, but this does make things easier ultimately. Because in the slicer, when you cut things up, you can't just right-click and choose reload from file. So that means you'd have to like delete it and then re-import it. So by cutting it in Fusion and then saving it as that model name, I can then just right-click and say reload from file, and then it'll just show whatever changes I made with that cut, rather than have to re-import it, recut it. It's a whole thing that I'm just not a fan of. So while that's thinking, let's go to our slicer. Wrong one. Here we go. We want lamp 003. I think we want to use black for prototyping this stuff. Oy. All right. That's still thinking. Okay. I've been abusing my computer today. There we go. Got that cut. Now I'm going to save as mesh just those threads. Sure. Yes. And now I go here, I right click, reload from disk, and then when I find this works, all I have to do is right click, reload from disk again, and it works. I'm going to keep that as it is, because if I cut this out, then that'll affect the fitment of the threads, because I might be squishing it or expanding it, and I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, that looks all good. let's select all these and choose forward because that's the extruder that has black. Okay. Default print settings, I'm sure are fine. Did I save this? I'm gonna delete that. Well, what's going on here? What is this? Oh, that's just because of the thread. Okay. Looks like we've got some overhangs that might be causing an issue. Oh, jeez. Oh, I don't think that'll be too bad. I think that'll be fine. Okay. And for this particular printer with this build plate, I found that I need to reduce the nozzle temperature to get a reading while it's leveling, because I feel like it gets soft under hotter temperatures, and the Prusa XL is not happy about it. So, not all the time, but I try to remember just to decrease the nozzle temperature while bed leveling. It doesn't really affect the first layer. It's just a few degrees. Okay, so this is gonna finish sometime tonight. Now what I'm going to have to do, because behind me I have the other version of the lamp printing with the other base I made, so I'm gonna have to go into my revision history to pull up the version of that base to add these changes to the base that fits that lamp that I'm currently printing, because the diameter of this diameter, right here, this diameter is smaller on the lamp I'm currently printing, so it would not fit this base. Plus the threads are different. The threads on this one go up 8 millimeters per revolution versus on that one it's only 6 millimeters per revolution. So minor changes like that, it's going to cause issues. So I need to add these changes to that base that fits that lamp, which means I need to go into my revision history, which has changed recently. You used to be able to just look at revision history from here, but now you have to select this icon over here to show history. And then you can see all the times that I've saved it. And I can pull up an old version to make changes to it. So you can see all the changes, all the times I've saved today. You can see I was up pretty late working on it. I was up at like 1:40 a.m. trying to figure this lamp out. So I'll probably pull that version up to adjust the old base for the legacy version of this lamp. So yeah, I hope this looks good. I mean, I feel like I've worked far too long on it. All right. Yeah, I just realized I'm blurry because I was I haven't refocused on my face since I was showing that stuff. Well, so far it's done. Just for this guy that's printing right here, that I need to use the old base for to determine, yeah, anyways. I basically just need to, let's go back here. I don't need to redo these pieces. I just need to take the base, and use this measurement to just redo this cut so that these can be used in it. And that's all I need to do on the old base before I made the changes that I did. Which I'm actually curious how it actually looks, because why do I have to pull that up? Whatever. I'll just so no, it won't be a ton of work. I just have to grab the legacy base from the older dimensions of this so that can fit in it. Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Though I do want to check the width of these walls, because sometimes if the width is too small, you get some weird artifacting from the slicer and from printing it. So I want to export this and import it into a slicer just so I can check what the wall width is like for the whole thing. Okay, that's been exported. Did I not pull that up? Okay, whatever. I have to mow the lawn tomorrow. That's one thing I don't like about summer yard work. I'm not a yard work kind of person, but I don't want my yard to look like garbage, so just something that I gotta do. Plus, with the lemonade stand out front of our house tomorrow, I gotta make sure I clean it extra good so people don't judge us. Oh well. Let's put you over here. What the? I don't want you over here. I moved you over there for a reason. Over here. Let's just slice it. You're right. It is a lemonade and fun stand, not just lemonade. You are right, Bailey. Thank you for the clarification. This is gonna take a while. This is a lot of geometry that it's doing. This finally pulls up. Thanks, Bamboo. Welcome to the party. It's partylicious up in here. Things are slowing down. Things are slowing down. Yeah. Let me ask you all something. So with this floppy hat, and let's come back to me. So with this floppy hat, was it Star Wars 3 that mentioned Fascinator or whatever it was called? Oh my gosh, my computer is so slow right now. Would it be better to have it be floppy or to have it be solid and be able to like attach it to your head? Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts and feelings. Or what I'm thinking is for the general public, if you're gonna wear this on your head, it's gonna be moving around and making noise. Would you rather have like a solid one or a floppy one on your head? Floppy for sure. Yeah, I could keep it floppy. Why don't I model up a little headband that it can fit on as well, so you can just print the headband as well. Though I've never done that before, and I know there's a lot of different size of heads out there, so I don't know how well that's gonna go. But maybe I'll just buy some on Amazon, like a pack of 10 or something. Usually it's hard to just buy one of those things. Floppy all the way, Dark Third Dimension. All right. Floppy it is. So I figure I could just keep the model mostly the same, but right here I can just add a little like something here because it already prints in this orientation, so it'll be strong along with the layer lines, and then you could just like slip something through the slot there, whether it's a headband or a ribbon or something, into like wear on your head. That's right. I should make it so I could just attach it to this headband, because I could just remove this. I would probably have to unscrew this to be able to fit it over though. Because this has, anyway, that'd be kind of funny to just have this on top. Because I know there's already some mods out there to add stuff to your headband. I could make it so it could just clip on rather than slide through. That would be a lot easier. Extra tall ones with red and white stripes. So, are we getting ready for 4th of July? Mad Hatter headphone topper. That's what I need to do. Just clip this on, have it be tall, have it, have red and white stripes around here, and then the bottom ribbon will have like blue or with stars or something. Yeah, that would be good. This is still slicing, by the way. Cat in the Hat style, like extra tall. And that wouldn't be hard because it prints sideways, so it would just be a longer print this way on the bed. Storm Leos, welcome in. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. For those who don't know, I'm streaming on both Twitch and YouTube at the moment. So if you see me reading someone's chat and you don't see it, it's because for whatever reason, I can't get YouTube's chat to show up here yet. I think it has something to do with permissions and configuration and stuff. So, howdy hey, welcome in. Oh look, it finally finished, and it's generating the G-code. I think this needs to be closed. I don't need this up. What was going on here? You can close. Yeah, it's kind of a fun hat style, isn't it? I think... Oh, look! Here it is. It's printing. It's only got 14.5 hours left. A very small print. It's a very small model. And it's still generating the G-code. Yeah, we were just discussing this little hat. Oh, thanks, Storm Reels. I appreciate that. I try to share what I can. We were just discussing being able to attach this to these Hedamame headphones. Yeah, so if this prints, you just print 2 of these and glue them together. You can see I messed up with some of the glue right here. But if I make it so you can just add some clip type thing here, you can just clip right on top of these headphones and I have a neat little hat. Maybe I'll do that next time. It'd be neat. It's still generating. It's still generating the G-code. Generating G-code. You know, I do enjoy a lot of, I like the artistic style. I just don't watch it a lot. I find some anime shorts pop up in my reels or shorts or YouTubes or whatever you want to call it. There's, can't remember what it's called. The one that I really like is Avatar: The Last Airbender, but that one is kind of a different kind of, I mean, I guess it's still technically anime. So I like that. I used to watch Pokemon growing up all the time. We're talking late 90s, mid to late 90s when Pokemon started coming out, and I watched the show all the time. I've seen a few animes. I do enjoy them, but I don't know. I just don't watch them a lot. I don't know. Do you all watch animes? What's your favorite anime if you watch anime? There's one, I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure you'll be able to tell me right away, but I haven't been able to watch it, but YouTube Shorts, it pops up, or on Instagram, these shorts of this anime, and this guy, he's going to a magic school, but he doesn't do magic. He's just super strong, and he like accomplishes all these tasks and gets through these courses using brute strength versus using magic. That's an anime I think would be fun to get through. Oh, and One Punch Man. I watched One Punch Man, not the recent season. I have not heard good things about the recent season of One Punch Man, but I think One Punch Man is quite amusing anime. Dark Third Dimensions into Pokemon. Oh, I remember watching Digimon. Never watched Beyblades or Yu-Gi-Oh! I may have watched 1 or 2 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! That wasn't, I wasn't really into that, but Pokemon, Digimon, I remember Digimon for sure. Chainsaw Man. Nice. I don't think I've seen Chainsaw Man. Oh, look, it's finished. Okay, now we can look at the walls of this. Okay, so we can see, look how thin some of these points are right here. Some of these points are really thin, but I don't think it's so thin that it'll show a hole while it's printing. Otherwise, we would see those artifacts here. So I think we're in the clear. I think we're in the clear. I like this. Both Anycubic and Orca Slicers giving code E10001. Can't get it past it. Oh, is it? When does it give you that code? For when you're slicing it or when you're trying to send a print? I want to look up what that anime is. It's like something hero or something. Um. Let's see. Um. No. What? Oh, Hero Academia or something like that. Mashley Magic and Muscles. Is that what it's called? I thought for sure it was called something completely different. That doesn't sound familiar to me at all. But that must be it. Mashley Magic and Muscles. I just find that anytime one of those shorts comes up, that's My Hero Academia. Is that it? My Hero Academia? That's gotta be it. Granye knows. Characters. I don't think this is it. I don't know if this is it. I may be mistaken. Yeah, I was wrong. It's Mashley, Magic and Muscles. I was wrong. Jujutsu Kaisen. Nice. Yeah, I bet it's a good one. Oh, when you open both, logon failed. Oh, I hate that. I hate it when it tells me to log in again. I'm just like, oh, come on. I'm already logged in. Stop being so mean. Okay, okay. That's too bad. Yeah, so we're gonna print these things out to make sure everything fits together properly. And then we can reuse this. It'll be a universal one. And then if we have a different socket that we need to use, then we only need to print this type thing to insert in there, and we can reuse this. If that doesn't appeal to everyone, then we can just create a new whole one of these every time we have a new type of socket to utilize. Captain Planet. Oh my gosh. Heart. My favorite element is heart. And it was my favorite because of how she said it. Heart. Yeah. Weren't they making a live action of that at some point, or was that just like someone that did an AI thing and got everyone excited? Anyway, I don't know. I just work here. Looks like it's printing. Everything's printing. Everything's looking good. Excellent. All right. I think we're about to wrap it up here. I think we should head over to Delta Trader. I don't know. How does everyone feel about that? They had one in the works. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything about it. I feel like usually they'll post something about it every so often to kind of keep traction and excitement about it. I thought they did a pretty good job with Captain Planet and how he looked. Not gonna lie. Yeah. How often do you do lives? Twice a week. So on Tuesdays and Fridays at about this same time. And it's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So Delta Trader also does CAD stuff. And he is also somewhat educational. I say somewhat. He is also educational. What I mean is, he does a good job explaining why he does certain things in CAD and being educational. I'm less educational. I try to explain why I do the things that I do, but I feel like lately I've just mostly been kind of like going off the rails, doing weird stuff. So let's head over and say hi to Delta Trader and do the things and accomplish the stuff. So, again, I am Bearded Printer, and I am wearing a hat, and I like doing the things and accomplishing the stuff. I'll see you all on Tuesday. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for your time and consideration on this matter.